23%. Student borrowing, okay? 10% comes from student income and savings. Grants and scholarships account for 15%, and 3% comes from friends or relatives. It gets done. You might get the friends and relatives up a little more. I think 3% is a little small. Remember, over a lifetime, the average college grad, as I said, earns $800,000 more than the average high school graduate. So even if you do graduate with a loan, an education still pays. It's still an investment in your child's future and in your own. Okay, so it's time to talk about how to get from here to here, from there, she says. We're going to talk about those 529 plans. I'm sure most of you have heard about student loans and strategies. We're going to give you an overview, but I want to start at the beginning with the long-term plan, with savings, because when it comes to saving, time is your friend, right? Think for a minute. What's most important in your life? Family, social justice, education, independence, faith. I'll bet whatever it is, it's not money. But whatever your values are, money can help support them. As I said earlier, money is a tool. It's useful. But let me ask you, when you were born, did you know how to use a pencil? A hammer? A computer? When you were born? Did your children? Probably not. So don't be ashamed to have to work a little bit to learn how to use this tool that we call money, to handle it in a way that fits your values, okay, and helps you reach your goals, including paying for college. And we should be aware that money is a family affair. Your kids watch your every move. They'll do what you do with money. They will absorb your financial fears and your financial habits. And if you're kind of going, uh-oh, right now, I'm with you on that. Now, you can't control the economy, but you can control your behavior. You can control how you use your money. So right now, it's time to take control and bring your kids along for the ride. All right? That's more important than it sounds, because the kids have to be your financial partners. A friend of mine's daughter kept asking her, pestering her actually, for an expensive pair of shoes. She's only 7, but you know, she saw them on TV. It was all the cool thing. Finally, Susan sat her daughter down and she explained how much she made an hour and how many hours of work it would take to buy those shoes. Now, Elise got it, but she wasn't too impressed. You know, you just divide the cost of shoes and the hours, you know. Then Susan sat her down, continuing this discussion, and showed her how many hours that she had to work to pay for her mortgage, and to pay tuition, and to pay for food, and then for the shoes. Now this time Elise got it, and she became her mother's financial partner. She was 7. She got it. To successfully save for college, you and your partners have to balance present needs, things such as food and taxes and rent, with future needs, education, retirement. You do that 2 ways. You do it by managing money and by investing it. Today, because I want to spend more time on financial strategies for college, I'm going to spend more time on managing the money and a little bit less on investing. To manage your money, you need to set up goals. You need to stick to a game plan, one that includes paying your family first. Remember when I said planning starts early and that there's more to it than loans and scholarships? Well, right now, I want you to take out a calendar if you have one. Your checkbook sometimes has a calendar. I really mean this. This is a project. And I want you to find somewhere in the next 7 days, you know, if you don't have a calendar. Does your cell phone have a calendar? Mm-hmm. You're still on the hook then. Okay. I want you to look at your calendar over the next 7 days and try to find a place where you can grab a half an hour with you and your family. Just a half hour, 30 minutes. Before dinner, after dinner, Saturday morning, whatever it is, okay? And please write that down. This is important. But don't put your calendars away just yet. I want you to find that first one for about a half an hour. Now, about 7 to 10 days after that, I want you to see if you can find another date where you can spare an hour, maybe with your spouse, or at the very least with your checkbook. Okay? So 7 to 10 days after you've figured out the first appointment with your family, I want you to try to carve an hour out for yourself. I know that's really hard. I know it's hard. These appointments, though, will change your life. They're worth it. Now, you and your family, your financial partner, should use that first appointment to think about your financial goals. Let's just 2 or 3. It's really simple. 1 or 2, 2 or 3, whatever. A financial goal might be saving enough for your kids' education, or saving for retirement, or saving to buy a house, or if you have a goal of making a budget, or I don't know, maybe even just saving for a vacation, okay? But you need to have financial goals, because, I mean, if you're like me, if I don't have anything out there nagging at me, I don't do anything. I mean, you know, deadlines are great motivators. And so you should think of this as a motivator, your goal, all right? Okay, now it's time for that second appointment. We're going to assume, for argument's sake, because we're here talking about paying for a college education, that your goal that you set with your family is to pay for a college education, or at least help, all right? So it's time now for that second appointment. And here's how you're going to use that. You're going to come up with a way to outsmart all those people who want to separate you from your money, okay? So you're going to take an hour to come up with a way to outsmart all those people who want to separate you from your money. Because before you can decide how much to put toward that goal you set with your family, you need to know how much money comes in and how much money goes out. And that way you can create a game plan, you know, a blueprint to get to your goal. And that's what a budget is. And I hate that word, budget. But it does help you understand where you spend your money, how you spend it every month, and it lets you see the consequences of your actions. I hate that word.
So does Washington.
So does Washington, yeah. Now, some of you may have a kind of sort of budget, like a general outline of where you go with it. And some of you might plan every penny you spent. And then some of you simply know that you have to stretch every dollar you have until it screams, and hope you don't run out of dollars before you run out of days in the month, okay? We've all been there. Still, if you're like me and the thought of putting a budget together is chilling, I've got to tell you something, you have to get over that. You really do. Because there's a huge payback to having a blueprint for your money. And it's not just financial. One of the biggest benefits of a budget is emotional. It is the biggest stress buster going. When you know where your money's going and you're able to keep more of it for yourself, when that becomes a gain, okay, you don't worry as much. And you're going to be able to feel real good about teaching your kids about saving and spending wisely. I mean, it's a twofer. It gets rid of stress. It educates your kids. Oh, wait a minute, it's a threefold. It means that you're going to reach your goal. So, here's a fast food version of putting a budget together. And frankly, it's the only way I could face it. And I'm going to do it really quickly compared to other people, because I want to get to these school aid, these financial aid issues we want to talk about. First of all, you have to get organized to have a budget. So find a table and just clean it off. Crackers, everything to the side, right? If you have a box of file folders, great. If you don't, get some paper clips or some rubber bands, okay? Bring all of your bills and receipts to that table along with a copy of a budget, either the budget in my book or you can go online. There's tons of places.